to... Oh, stand on that, I put it together. Yeah, good morning everyone. Welcome to 2024, the third year of the Aero Cup, first round. Looking forward to it. We've got 57 anglers fishing it, ish. Yeah, has everyone entered, registered and paid the 20 for the pools? Because if you haven't, you can't fish it. Literally, if you've been in the room and you've not registered, you've had to repaint it twice already. All right, everyone's paid on. Yeah, brilliant. Right, so this is the Aero Feeder League. So for those of you that haven't fished it before, it is the same rules as what we run here during the winter for the Winter League on a Tuesday. So it is going in. Yeah. Alan's going in. Alan Norris. Edward. Morning, Edward Norris.
Loco 45.
Sorry?
Loco 45.
I'm David.
Oh, one good thing, I'm not on bonsai. Yeah! There's nothing wrong with bonsai, you just get sick of drawing the same lake, don't you? But I'm on loco, so 45 loco. I was working yesterday, the wind was blowing the wrong way yesterday, so I don't know which way it's blowing today. 45 loco, it can be okay. It can also be 41's the place in the middle of the lake. I'm not in the middle. It's so I know loco quite well. You take it because there's a chance of a few fish, but it ain't the flyer, that's for sure. But it doesn't have to be flyer as long as I get it top 5. That's what we're aiming for. So we'll get down there. It's a fairly short walk, and we'll get set up and we'll see how we get on today. Oh, Woody's drawn 68 bonsai. That's not a bad peg. Tizzy's drawn 21. Benny's, that is bang on. I don't know how they do it, mate. Woody's 1 off the favourite, which is 70. We're 2 off the favourite, which is peg 70. So good luck, Woody. Good luck, Tidsy. And we'll see how I get on today. Well, here I am, peg 45 on loco. As you can see, it's towards the end, but we've got John Marshall here, a local. We've got Eddie Bryden there. And even though the peg's pointing over there, we've got to fish there. And an empty peg, 41, which is a flyer. So you've got a fancy, yeah, sorry, not 41, that's 44, 43, 42 is, there's a gap there and there's a gap on here. This guy seems to have more room than anybody on this bank. So 41's a flyer, just up there. Tidsy, in fact I can see him walking across there. Thinks I can't hear him. His voice has been echoing all the way across. I can hear every word he's saying. He's been talking about me again. So peg 45. It's bomb and feeder, so I'm going to have a bomb line here. I'm going to feed with 6 mils and fish an 8. I can put a 6 on if I want. I can put red pellets on, green pellets, whatever colour pellet I decide over the top. I'll probably try to start off with a method a little bit further out to start with. I'm going to feed down here for a margin, and I'll put something down here under that as well. And that's pretty much it. I think it's going to be a case of being a little bit patient today. John reckons £70 will win the lake today. Speedy, I don't know. I think somebody shot me. I think Tidsy shot me for taking Mickey out of him. Sorry, Tids. What an absolute bell. No need for that, was there? Bloody hell. I'll go turn that off. Speedy. Tidsy, what have I told you? Give up. I can't take anymore. So, peg 19. Absolutely spot on. I don't know how he does it. Every time I fished on this lake, he seems to be in that area. I do not know how he does it. Right, that's me turning that off. So that's the plan. Baits wise, I've got some ground bait with a few micros mixed in. It's the Bag and Match Baits Commercial Carp Green and the XP Crushed Expand. I've got some maggots in there which I'm going to throw to the right and the margins. I like dead reds on the hook sometimes for margins. 8mm pellets, micros with a few bits of corn in and some corn there and rafters. That's pretty much it. So We've got 45 minutes to get ready. I'm going to turn that banger off because that is frightening me to death. We'll see you guys during the match. That's it, yeah, we're in. Whistle's just gone. Hell. Bloody hell. Testing, testing, testing. Let's hope it goes round. Right, 1 hour in, and it's evident that it's going to be fishing hard today. Oh, I've just had a skimmer, about 12 ounce. But the pegs to the right, which is 41's like the epicenter normally. 42's catching, and 40's catching, and 43. They're in the epicenter, and there's fish crashing all the time in front of them. John's had a tench, maybe a pound or so, into his left hand corner, which is where you can usually get some if the wind's blowing in that way. There is 1 or 2 fish in the margins here in these reeds. I have had a quick look just for a look-see. Sometimes you can get a few early fish down there, but 1 liner, that was about it. So I'm going to save that for later on. Feed a bit of bait, get my confidence up, and hope we can get some in there later. But I've not seen anybody, apart from me and John, really catch anything. I think the guys had a tiny skimmer right at the end. Peg 2 or 3, I think it is. But there's not a lot happening. It's definitely fishing hard. So as far as putting loads of bait, I mean Eddie Bryden's been spodding. Not seen him have a fish yet. I'm holding back a little bit with the bait. I keep feeding on my bomb line, where I'm not filling it in. If I were fishing here with pole, I'd be tapping pellets in, I think. Unless I thought they were going to come shallow, but not so sure about that. I've been watching them try and catch shallow this week and last week. Yeah, don't get me wrong, they were getting 1 or 2, but they weren't getting the numbers that they were doing a few weeks ago. So I've gone back out long on the method. I've not clipped up. I've got I've got some shadows that I can see that I'm casting to keep it as accurate as I can. But I'm just getting a little liner now, and there's it feels like there's just skimmers out there at the minute. You can tell the skimmers, just little tiny liners. If you get a carp liner, it's quite a big pull round. So I think I've done right in not going crazy with the feed. I'll just work my way into it, but it's definitely feeling like it's going to be tough on this lake. Probably fish will come towards the end. These guys to my right, there's 1, 2, 3, there's 4 to my right. Well, certainly 3 to my right that'll be difficult to beat. And the pegs where Nick is across there, they'll be difficult to beat with the wind blowing in. So like I said, you've got to come on top 5. If I wasn't fishing, I wouldn't be fancying this area. I'd be fancying the middle of the lakes, the middle of the lake on both sides to do the best. Some of you say making excuses. It ain't an excuse, it's just what I know about this lake. If the wind were blowing in towards that bank, I'd be fancying these guys, because I've seen them empty on those pegs. But I just don't think the wind's right for it today, but you never know. I'm just trying to give you an idea of what my thoughts are in the match, what my fishing brain's telling me. This alarm keeps going on my stopwatch, I don't know how to turn it off. It's steamed up a little bit from the other day. I can't really see anything, even with my gigs on. Ooh, was that a skimmer? Was that a skimmer bite? I'm not sure. Or an F1 liner, don't know. I've been having like 10-minute casts. I think it might be worth a few casts to put a bit of bait out there. At some point I will do. I think that's a skimmer. That was definitely a skimmer bite. I've gone down to a little 5mm wafter, which can catch everything in here. I just know that it does. I know you're thinking put a bigger wafter on to keep away from skimmers, but my theory is feeding fish attracts other feeding fish, so if we get 1 or 2 skimmers in, 1 or 2 skimmers come in. Hopefully a few bigger ones on top. So I've just gone to a traditional method with a mix of ground bait and pellets, which can work really well. Probably got like a 30-metre chuck there, 25-30 metres. I've not sticked it up. Oh, that was a liner, that. That looked like a bite. Went straight round it, that. It must have been a liner. Must have caught a fish. But you've got to lift on them just as it's sinking. Oh, my line was sinking, not the feeder. The feeder had already at the bottom. Well, that's a good sign, because that would have definitely a carp that's caught the line as I'm trying to sink it. Try that again. It would have been nice if that had been a carp on straight away. So I'm probably catapulting at about 16, 17 metres, which I know is a line that you can catch on. Put a bomb over the top of that. Just need a few good pull rounds. I did say to Dave, after what I've seen from last week and yesterday while I was working, I thought it would fish difficult today. Even though I didn't want to draw Bonsai, I actually think Bonsai's got a really good chance of winning the match today. Like I say, I only really wanted to draw a different lake in one of these matches, because I've drawn it every time. I think Dave will do alright on 68, that's not a bad area at all. He'll have between islands to chuck to and side of islands to chuck to, so I think he'll do alright there. Start off with, he'll probably end up catching smaller ones and hopefully get a few bigger ones later. Right, that's your little update. Fishing difficult. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, we've got 2 hours 15 minutes left. I've not had another fish, but neither has anybody else. Nobody's catching. The peg, what are classed as the favoured peg, sort of 41, 40, 42, around that area. He's had another decent fish. I think he's had 3, maybe 4. But I've not seen anybody catching. Eddie Brown's still not had a fish. He's still on 1 tench. I'm still on 1 F1 and 2 skimmers. I've just had a massive line of it. But it looked, oh, that's me, the wind's getting up, as you can see. It shot round, but there was nothing there. It didn't actually go all the way round. I'm assuming it was a fish swimming past, it's just caught my line. Definitely looked like a bite, but nothing there. Either that or I've been done. I'm just getting odd little jabs like that, which you tend to think, are they picking it up and blowing it out? I don't know. I've just gone a little bit further out. I've had a look on the bomb line, sat with 15-minute casts and not had a sign. I'd have probably been doing a hell of a lot better if I'd have just fished for skimmers, I think. Because these are definitely skimmers that are just tapping this. It's not very often you come on loco and think that catching a load of skimmers might have done better, but it's normally a carp and big F1 venue, this, and there's loads of them in here. I've spotted Tidsy. Apparently Benny's fishing really hard. He'd had 2 F1s and a skimmer. And Bonsai, I spotted Dave. He says 4 carps best he's seen. He's had 1 carp and 3 or 4 small F1s. Alex Doherty's not. Eddie spoke to Alex about an hour ago and he's not had a bite for an hour, so there's something going off. It's definitely not fishing right. So just thought I'd give you an update. It's not just me, it's fishing really, really difficult. Seeing Eddie keeps baiting it up out there, but he's not had a bite over his bait, but I've not had a bite over the pellets that I've been feeding. I'm not so sure it's a feeding day. I keep putting bait down here. You can throw bait as well as catapult. I keep having a look down there because sometimes I do know, like on loco, same as Benny's, they can just turn up and you can have a really good run on them quite a bit earlier than your normal last hour 45 minutes. But as of yet, nothing. I'm not on my own. I think the guy to my right's still on 1 fish. But we need some carp. 3 or 4 carp would put me right in running, but it just doesn't feel like we're going to get one. There's loads crashing in the middle over there, in the middle of the lake to my right. I've seen nothing crash in front of us here. There's been loads crashing sort of in the peg 41, 42 area. So we'll carry on, we'll persevere and hope that they actually switch on at some point, but it ain't looking very, very good at all. Right, hopefully next time I speak to you I'll be into a mighty carp, he says. Oh, I thought it was a skimmer at first. It's magically turned into an F1, I think, or a small carp. Eddie's just landed his first fish. We've got an hour and 25 minutes left. I just went quite a bit further out this time, in some fresh water where there's been no bait, and 7.5 minutes in, it's gone round. I think it's an F1. nobody's catching anything apart from, I think, peg 40. I don't know what they're catching in the teens. I'm not really. Do apologise. Camera's playing up today. Keeps repair. I'm doing file repairs. If it does it again, I'll have to change the SIM card. People, I did land that with about. It was a £6 carp. Don't know what's going off. I've tried changing SIM cards. It won't accept me other SIM cards apart from this one, and it's playing up on me. So I'm hoping I might be able to finish the video, but you just never know. It keeps going off for some reason. But I managed to land that. I'm up to £14 now. Eddie's had 2 fish now. I don't know how big they are. I think they were F1s. And there is an hour and 10 minutes left, so all to play for. We need a few more fish. I've gone back out on that longer line. I had a big liner, so I've gone back out on it. I've brought that back in and gone back out just to have a look, and there's a fish topped pretty much where my pellets are, so my next cast is to go over where I've been feeding at sort of 16-17 metres. We'll have another look there, and then hopefully we'll get some down here or here. That's the plan. Let's see if it works. Right, we're all weighed in. Shimano Ledger Cup round qualifier 1. I've drawn Loco 45. I think I said that it's an area that it can be okay, but it's not a peg that I'd run to. 42 is the 42 is the area usually that you'd be thinking you've got a chance. 45, but don't forget you have to finish in the top 5. I thought Nick Speed drew bang on 19. I know that's one of his pegs that he would always take, but that's not performed, and it's fished quite hard in areas. My tactics was not clipping up, start long, have a look left, have a look right, just to see what's happening. I wasn't right sure about the feed. Eddie Bryden, he's clipped up and he's done some spodding. That's not worked, and I've been feeding a few pellets sort of around the 16 metre, 18 metre line for bomb and pellet, and the margins hopefully for later. What I will say is the margins never kicked in at all. There were loads of silverfish there. Every time I threw some pellets in, they were all over them, but they were just small fish. I think I've had a skimmer quite early, and then I've been nicking the odd fish, but not a lot happening, and not a lot happening for everybody else. Eventually I've decided to go on the bomb shot. I can't remember if I had one or not, because it is a few days later, these people, but I do remember I had ground bait and micros on a method which I tried over that short line, and I've had a few fish from there eventually. And that's been pretty much it. Nick a few from there, go back out long, maybe nick another one, and that's how the day's gone. Nothing came into the margins for anybody really. No, they didn't. Nothing came in whatsoever. And that pretty much sums up the day. I've weighed in just short of 38 pounds, which I think was 6th or 7th on the lake. There were a couple of 60s. Nick Speed's not weighed in. I think he said he had 2 F1s, and the skimmer, he said there were fish crashing all over, but he just couldn't catch them. If he can't catch them, there's something not quite right. It's on the change with this weather. So I have got another one. We're at Makins in a week or 2. So let's see if we can go a little bit better at Makins. So there we go. That's round qualifier 1 over. I have got all the tickets. I've got one for Hallcroft, which I'll probably definitely fish, and if I qualify, I'll probably leave Barston alone. I'll probably put that on the market. So we'll see what happens. So there we go. Right, that's me done. We'll see you on the next one. Take care, people, and don't forget to fish on.